Okay, we're back and just had a break. I had to take care of a few things today, and so I was just explaining the long pattern, the S3XL, which is best looked at on its own, not within a lot of other situations. And if we look at just the top line of it, okay, that isn't useful for any of the five caged key of cage keys. Okay, because C doesn't need a long pattern at all, right? I have mine's down tuned to C. This would be where your E is as opposed to the fret nut. But we put the capo here. Now that's where your E is. Sound familiar? Okay, so we just discussed that considering the E the fourth, the E being the fourth of B, okay, and we talked about that B, using the long pattern with the B. Now let's look at, because we want to get to the fun stuff, okay? It is fun and it's necessary, and this will be fun when we learn this cold like this, once we learn it cold. And by the way, I just want to show you one thing before we leave this particular S3XL diagram, and that is, I think I did this before, the pentatonic, okay, for the X3XL, you just remove the 7 and the 4 and the 7, and that's your pentatonic X3XL shape right there. Any of these diagrams, you remove the, say, the 7 and the 4 from the S3L, and you get an S3S, which is just 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, which is a pentatonic scale within a pentatonic scale. All right, so we've got a few things that are challenging us. Learning the pentatonic long pattern, okay, learning the long pattern itself and putting it to the fret nut, so it gets us away from that fret nut, and then we can go into the normal finger barred patterns. The other challenge is just working in the other keys, but I've got a way around that. While I was driving in my car today, which was very fun and interesting, but I got lost and I had to drive 10 miles out of my way. Boy, that was fun, asking some farmer where you are. They 5 miles back that way. Okay. Anyway, lucky I had a friend up that way, so I think it was a nice area. It was like they grow apples there, like tons of acreage of apples. So anyway, what I thought of on my way was that instead of challenging the different keys, and these are the reasons why at the fret nut we would want to use these long patterns. So let's look at an E-shaped E. So here's the E shape. You see how there's an E shape on this root 2? Because that is a part of a string shape. Alright, let me show you the string shapes. Okay, so the string shapes are here in this diagram. This is the new chart, by the way. Don't worry about these S2Ls plus S3Ls plus S1C stuff. Just look at the string shape. So the E string shape will be 7 root 2. Okay, so that'll be the E string shape. Alright, so here it is. We just have the root 2 part because that's all we get. E, pretend this is your fret nut. So the lowest note of that guitar will be that E. So we're going to consider that the root because we're going to be in the key of E, and we're going to play root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Okay, and then 7 root 2. All right, and then 3, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Now notice that 2 and 3 line up. Now let me show you how easy this is. If I put the capo on a familiar key of mine, I don't play in E, I play in C. And guess what? My guitar is tuned to C. Here's C on the piano. Here's C, E position. Now I can play that root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. Okay? And we're going to employ that same little trick to demonstrate the A-shaped long pattern. Now, of course, the A-shaped long pattern is going to, you would play it off of your A like this. And my wrist is hurting me a little bit, so, it's going to be something like 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, warp up, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. You see how I messed that up? Because I'm just off today on that. I'm just off on doing that. Maybe the fret nut, the capo's kind of blocking my way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this capo up to the G and play an A-shaped C. Now watch how easy it is for me to play that pattern. Alright, and we could do the same thing with the D down here. I have a D down here. It'll be a D shape, and then we'll go into the pattern. So it's S1LD, S3XL, and then we have an S2LCE, which is 7 root 2 and 3, 4, 5. Or I can just look at that as an S3XL going into an S4L, and I'm just only going to get to past the first 2 strings of that S4L, not the S2L. This is the S2L, the one in the middle. The S4L is all 4 here, right? This is going to come into play later, and it's going to be easy. So we got the D. We're going to go 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I did that cheating looking at my notes because I'm doing a D-shaped C, right? So it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we do the long pattern, going into an S3XL, but warped up. Now that's strange. Here's our D-shaped C, right? Where's our root? Oh, I forgot the D shape. So remember, some of these have a lone string down there. So you could start from that. You could start from that root and go. Okay, so those are the long patterns. Did we do the G? I'm sure we did the G, but if we put the capo up on the G, it would be on the A for the G because we've got a 6 there. Because when you play your usual G down here, key of G, that E, that low E, becomes the 6th